Oh,
Yo, yes, it's GunSlingerz, and we're back. Aubameyang and Lacazette, do we need those two up front? Second, the result yesterday was a bit poor. We need some kind of more up front, threat. Let's discuss with my boys. Let's go! The crew is here. Guns up, Boots, Gunner Kings. All good to have you guys on. Hey, Boots, we're gonna have to get you on our intro, man. We need a shot from you. We need to get you on our intro.
Get a six-pack out of that, innit? I'm joking, man.
Don't pass off the shame like that, man. Seriously. You know what I mean?
Hey, Andre.
You have all mans in the gym, man, busting press ups.
No, that's not me at all. Lockdown belly, bro. That's what I got.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys back, man. Listen, Gumza, King, Boots. Yesterday's result still a bit raw. King, you was there yesterday, correct?
Yeah, man.
What was the atmosphere saying? What was it like, man?
Yeah,
how was it at the end? Oh,
At
actually,
the end?
you keep me the roller coaster ride because it was like must have been up, wicked, went flat, went down, and then up again. Talk me through it.
So yeah, look, atmosphere, and the reason I wanted to be there is, look, one, I believe in these young players that we brought in. I think like myself especially, I feel like I underestimated them. I wanted to put my thoughts on the Kroenkes, which still to a degree exist aside, support them, but also Vieira's a legend. Whatever anyone wants to say is 9 years of being there, opportunity to be there when he's in the stadium. I weren't passing that up. So shout out DJ Harry from he does a lot on Jess's streams. Oh, Salah just scored. Sorry, I got the Liverpool game on here, yeah. But shout out DJ Harry, for letting me purchase his season ticket for that game. I'll be at the Villa game as well. The atmosphere for that reason at the beginning was electric. You could really hear, sort of everyone there in full display, not many empty seats. Palace fans, they always bring the noise. People should know.
They were serious, weren't they?
Games to go to, by the way. Their fans, salute them. I have to salute them because, they definitely
always singing.
Yeah, exactly, man. Always, no matter what. And I think like that goal when it went in, Aubameyang's first one. Wow, yeah, just the place was alight. Everyone was buoyant. Everyone was happy. Went into half time. And it definitely dropped when they scored. I think one thing that stuck out to me was Palace fans singing "Shall we sing a song for you? Shall we sing a song for you?" I felt violated. I can't lie.
That's when Lacazette come on. When did he come on? He started like trying to get the crowd come. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what I was trying to do. But the problem was where I was sitting. Yeah, like it's like. The season ticket holders, like a lot of them were like they're a bit older, a bit more gentrified. So I was looking like a bit of a tit, yeah, just standing there, just cheering people off all around me, yeah. But didn't even care. I was just doing it. I hate seeing fans leave early. I hate it. I despise it. I loathe it so much. Yeah, like I swear to God, we could be getting pumped 8-2 by United. If I had been in that stadium, I was not leaving. Until the final whistle, full 90.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna say, what if the manager's on a bad run?
There's no way.
And this is like towards the end of his tenure.
Sorry, I'm never doing it.
Not kind of like say, you know what? I'm in a protest here. I'm telling the board.
That's commitment, bro.
If I'm in that stadium, I'm in that stadium until the whistle blows.
I'd leave just to miss a bit of traffic, bro.
And look, I've got my doubts about Arteta at the moment. I've got my doubts about the Kroenkes that didn't even want me to be there in the first place. But if the moment I'm in that stadium, from when I'm in that stadium, I'm there until the whistle blows. And I just want to say, salute Lacazette, for at least rescuing the point for us. And look, I've been at it all day with certain rival fans and even certain ones of our own fans are like, we celebrated like we won the Champions League. Like, look, why is it? It's only Arsenal fans, they get told about celebrating not just last minute goals. That was the last kick of the fucking game.
Yeah,
the last kick of the game. You expect me to not be in the stadium and be going mad, when we've equalised with the last kick of the game. Look, we can get into whether Palace or a team should be beaten or not, or whatever, and how poor the performance was later. In that moment, I'm celebrating. Don't at me with any nonsense that I shouldn't be. Just don't.
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, King. I really do. However, I'd even go back to that, the other channel and the one that was kind of that's been banded around on all Twitter, all social media. Where they've just gone absolutely nuts with Lacazette's equaliser. But you see one man in the back, Turkish, he's just sat there like this.
You know what it is, I think it's just an overreaction, if I'm honest. Like, there's nothing wrong. If we gave, like, we got a point yesterday. I remember sending a voice note, like, I'm in a group I'm on, just like screaming a bit, like not going mental though. Like, my man just overdone it. I know obviously it's like a clickbait thing, clearly, like how man's gone on. But at the end of the day, I think it's just more of a relief that was for me. I'm just that happy rather than being gassed how they were. That's a bit too much, in my opinion.
No, I totally get that. And
do you know what it is? I think we get sick because it's Arsenal.
Yeah.
If that's Jurgen Klopp in Liverpool, no one's saying a word. Like, it would be, look at his passion. That's why they've equalised. Fergie time, like, they would salvage a draw or win a game in the 94th, and it was, oh my God, Man United played to the final whistle. Like, it's just narratives, isn't it? I get, yes, we didn't win anything special, but who knows how vital that point will be coming the end of the season. And to me, a goal's a goal. Like, yes, I'm not gonna run up and down my room. Like, when we scored against Tottenham the other day, my screams were a lot louder. But actually, when that went in, I did react. Do you know what I mean? And I will react every time Arsenal score. And we say this, but we could be winning 3-0 if Gabriel blocks one off the line. The centre back celebrate a clean sheet. Like, they don't care if it's 3-1 or 3-0. That's for their pride to say, actually, we're celebrating that clean sheet. So I'd much rather see them celebrating those things. Again, if we're losing 3-0 and we score a consolation, it's a bit different. But Chris God has seen something. It's not Salah.
What are you saying? It sounds like it's naughty.
Kate has come through with a dirty volley, man. Oh my! No, sorry. Carry on.
You know what it is? It's where we are, innit? That's the thing. Like you said, if it's Liverpool and City and they're going for top and they get a point last minute, it's like, you know what? They're now, they're still pushing on. We get a point and we're like 8th instead of 9th. So it's just, look at you, man, getting gassed about a mid-table. But that's why the other supporters do it. That's why we get it.
I get what I get annoyed with, right? Is in the grand scheme of things, the rivals are pointing out the league positions, the places, right? We got 11 points. The 4th place team has got 14. 15. Sorry, 15. Like, Brighton have got 15 or 14, isn't it?
Brighton will fall off.
No, but the point I'm making is, right. So
it's marginal, ain't it?
The top team has got 19 points. I'm not saying we're going to catch the top team or that we're in a title race, but it's like, it's perspective, innit? Come on, like, it's 8 games played, and we're expected to not even qualify in the top 6 places. And we are literally 4 points from the 4th place team.
I
So
think
that tells you how close we are to the 6th and the 7th place team, which would get us into Europe as well anyway. So
get that.
It's just there's a bit too much doom and gloom. There's a bit too much, but you're 12th or you're 11th shit. Like,
it's too many reactionary fans. Do you know what I mean? They base their opinion on 1 week and then the next week. Do you know what I mean?
The reality is, not every team has played the champions of Europe and the champions of England. We have, or Tottenham, who let's be honest, on paper, might be a team that should be beating us. You know, like we played some difficult fixtures. All right, Brentford just got promoted, but
they're not pushovers.
put Chelsea to the fucking sword last weekend.
They're not pushovers.
Liverpool drew with them.
They were celebrating those 3 points, like quote unquote. They've been saying to me all day, you were celebrating Lacazette's equaliser as if he won the Champions League. Well, I tell you what, those fuckers were celebrating winning that game as if they had won the Champions League. Because I was sat there watching it, a newly promoted side. But all of a sudden, we can't do the same thing, We can't show that relief, of overcoming. Like, all right, they got 3 points, we got 1, but they got 3 points when they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
we got 1 point when we shouldn't have.
Their keeper won that game for them.
Yeah, it's telling when your keeper's man of the match, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But guys, what I wanted to I think draw on today is our senior front players, Lacazette and Aubameyang. And I'm not sure, Chris, if you was aware, but yesterday I kind of alluded to this will probably play into your hands a bit, Chris, from the preview that we had for the Palace preview, where you wanted to go over a back three. Now, I drew on yesterday our game against Valencia, and also we used that same formation against Napoli. But this is Unai Emery's take on it. I remember we played 2 up front in those games with a back three. And I thought those 2 dovetailed with each other magnificently, especially for the Valencia game. My only thing is that it's a shame that it wasn't used in the Premiership. He seemed to only really use it in the Europa League. I'm just going to draw on this, right? I'm going to show you guys. So this was the Valencia game. Now, if you look at those players, I'm thinking to myself, Koscielny, we can have Gabriel, Socrates, White, Mustafi, Tomiyasu. Maitland-Niles could do what he's doing there. Obviously, Tierney for Kolasinac. I mean, now with the 2 in midfield, Xhaka could be there, or could be Samba, and then Partey. I'm thinking probably here now, this is where it might come a little bit kind of sticky, right? Because Odegaard, ESR, or Saka, one of them is going to have to get dropped. So that's up for debate. But I want to see those 2 up front together. And I think with the way the closing, when Lacazette come on, he brought something to us where where Aubameyang wasn't outside, left. He was playing through the middle, and so was kind of, Lacazette a little bit off the top, but they were both kind of working with each other. And you can see that Aubameyang with some of the balls around the corner, he was slipping. Lacazette could have scored earlier, before he actually did. I think Aubameyang put him through. It was just a weak shot. But my thing with that is that something that we could go with? I mean,
can I just say firstly, though, that is an example of how playing 3 at the back can still be offensive. Ozil, Lacazette, Aubameyang up top. Yeah, that's far from defensive. You know what I mean? No. What with Ozil, what you've got behind him means that offensively you can leave him further forward a lot more, where he needs to be. Yeah. So I've seen in the comment section here, I don't know who put that, but Saka is a right wing back. Where that's what I was going to say. Where it can revert from being a 3 at the back to a 4, with him bombing into midfield, be it centrally or overlapping on the outside to create overloads. Again, what does that do for Pepe if you play him on the right hand side? That allows him to play further forward. If it's Odegaard, it allows him to do the same. I just think maybe, and look, we got to remember Palace were without Zaha yesterday. We can only begin to imagine what that game would have been like with him.
But you don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, because they didn't have Zaha, maybe they were kind of like, do you know what? We can't just keep going down the left. Maybe they just thought, you know what? Let's kind of keep playing. Let's play. Because they held on to the ball very well. And what Zaha tries to do, he does try and obviously cause havoc with dribbles, but his dribble percentages, take-ons, etc. There's going to be a lot of times where there will be turnovers when Zaha has the ball. So you don't know. I mean, yes, you can say, listen, we all know Zaha's a problem, but also is that kind of, that you don't really know. They may well have played differently. They may have, because they kept the ball very, very well, and they were very patient. As Gums has said yesterday, they didn't kick the ball long until the 85th minute.
I'm telling you, it was that Conor Gallagher. What a player he is. Because especially in the second half, where I was on the side where he was, permanently, you just saw midfield here, defense here, and him in the middle. Either coming deep to get the ball there, committing a defender, bringing them forward, or dropping and bringing the midfielder in with him. Wow, his movement off the ball, really good. And
the standard in the Premiership, man. And if you're talking about also rounds like Crystal Palace, these teams have come up. But Boots, I mean, do you think it's time to see these two up front now together?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind giving it a go. I think just getting them both in the same team, even for me. So, like you say, they're both strikers' mentality. They both do. They know what each other are going to do with runs and stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can see even in the 20 minutes or whatever it was, there was lovely link-up play, wasn't it? So, and like you say, we've seen it in the European games under Armoury. So, yeah, I would like to see him as a two and similar formation to what you put there. You know what's just a bit gutting is you see Ben White and Tomiyasu are both right-sided centre backs as well. They can do right back and right-sided centre backs. Whereas obviously Gabriel, I think, probably would have been better in the middle. Obviously, you're going to have to play him to the left. But I would say, Tierney on the left. Saka can do that role. And like Gunn is saying, when we're on the offensive, we go and utilise him going forward, further up the pitch. So, yeah. And the thing is, for me, it's a similar thing to Saka. Everyone wants Saka on the right, which I get, but because obviously he's so good in other positions, it's similar to me with Aubameyang. Utilised, I think he would be better down the middle. But then there is certain games that we're not seeing Aubameyang doing that well down the middle. Do you see what I mean? He gets bullied a lot. So in those sort of games, like the Brighton game, he could have played wide left there and Lacazette could have been up top. Do you see what I mean? Because I don't feel like Aubameyang, especially yesterday, for me, he put the most graft in, without a doubt. And he was on job for me, Aubameyang. So in a game like, I don't think Aubameyang should be dropped and then put Lacazette in the middle. If he wants to stick to his formation, basically, of a 4-3-3, put Aubameyang on the left and then put Laka up top, Saka on the right. That's how I would play it. But I'm willing to try the two, what you're saying.
Yeah, I really want to see that. I mean, I just think, I know we talk about Aubameyang against Brighton. One of the things I think that he was probably short of was, I would say, was runners off him. And I think that's what Lacazette kind of offers him. He kind of knows that Lacazette will make a certain run. Whereas I think, I don't know. Gums, I mean, how could you see this working? Shoehorning to up front.
Any which way you could get it to work, you got to get it to work. I would. Sometimes when the 4-2-3-1, we're not playing attractive, we're not dominating games. So to me, I've got no qualms with going back to a back three because it's not like we're dominating a game where we're thinking, why are we changing? So I wouldn't be against going to a three to get them both up front. But equally, I wouldn't be against Aubameyang playing off the left. Again, it's just a starting position. It doesn't mean he's going to stay out there the whole game. He's naturally going to drift in. But one thing I called it a few weeks ago. I said I'd rather see Abba and Laka on the pitch together at the same time. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Lacazette. He was our best striker last season, by far for me. When things aren't going right for Aubameyang, yes, he's working his socks off, and no doubt yesterday he put a shift in. But at the same time, Lacazette always gives you a bit more. And I say this a lot, and people look at me and laugh. Aubameyang will score. If you play them both 37 games in a season, for the same minutes. Aubameyang, no doubt, will probably score more goals than Lacazette. But I think if a Lacazette plays, the team scores more goals. So it might not just be Lacazette scoring the goals, but as a collective, we knit together. We're better with Lacazette in the team. So for me, any which way, you got to get them both in. But again, it's you play your best players. I get sometimes you don't want to play boys out of position, but actually it's one thing we haven't gone with for a long time is both of them in the team. And they look for each other. They enjoy playing together. They've got that bromance, and I don't get why we haven't tried to lean on that a bit more. If you don't mind, Canners, I've got a couple of little images because I was doing my stills. Do you mind if I post them?
No, you go, man.
So this is what I think is important for me. If you look at the time, 66 minutes.
Yeah.
So we've got one here. Tierney's wrapped it into Lacazette, and look at Abba's movement. Look how close they are.
Yeah.
We didn't see Tierney getting forward. And bearing in mind, this is 1-0. It's not at 2-1. This is 1-0. And this is literally Lacazette's first touch as he's put Abba in here. 5 minutes later, it's flipped reverse. Lacazette's now on the left. Abba's more central.
This is the
Look at him on his toes already, knowing he's going to play that ball.
He knows.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Abba's, and this one, again, Lokonga's got the ball. He's looked for Abba.
Oh, straight away around the corner.
Round the corner. He knows he's going to go. But
you should have given him the eyes here. You know that. You should have given him the eyes.
Yeah, he should have gone near post. He should have gone to the keeper's right.
Yeah, but what's important about this, look at the times. 66 minutes.
Yeah.
71 minutes. So in 5 minutes, we've seen 3 times we've got in behind with them two linking up. And that was telling to me. Within 5 minutes, we've transitioned from a team who was defending and couldn't get out the pitch to we've created, because the second one I showed led to Smith Rowe having a volley, but he mishit it. The first one, Abba had a shot, we got blocked, went for a corner. And then the third one was when Lacazette tried to bend it and it went out for a corner. And then to be fair, they scored off that corner. But it showed me within 5 minutes the difference it had made him coming on the pitch.
Because we hadn't troubled them that much up until that point.
No, not at all.
You know, apart from the goal in the first 7-8 minutes, we didn't trouble them that much.
Do you see what he tweeted as well? To do with Lacazette, and just James put it up earlier in the group.
Yeah, that was a bit.
His motive for that was a bit weird. It was almost like saying, you know what, I scored, I run about, you lot didn't do anything, and basically, Lacazette, my brethren, I want him starting. Do you see what I mean?
What happened?
And it's like, I don't know. It can rub people up the wrong way. That
it can.
Did someone put that tweet up?
Abba did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was Abba, wasn't it? But James put it in our group. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can get it. Silver Fox, if you're listening,
carry on. I'll send it across and put it in.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting to look at.
Like a cryptic message. It's not like bait, but you read between the lines and you think, what's your motive for putting that on? And your captain sort of thing. Why are you not keeping that in house sort of thing? Yeah. There's a cryptic side. If you analyze it anyway, that's what I think.
No. I agree with you 100%.
That's worrying.
It's cryptic enough for him to wriggle out of the situation.
Exactly.
Say, no, I didn't mean that. Whatever. Do you know?
Exactly. 100. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pop this up. Take a deep breath.
I think he brings the best out of all the wingers, man. To be fair,
he brings the best out of
Smith Rowe and Saka. They all love playing, like you say. Exactly what Gums has said, innit? You play Aubameyang and Lacazette same time, game time in a season. Aubameyang will score more, but the team will do better with Lacazette.
Yeah. So, I mean, if he was to start playing Aubameyang on the left, I remember obviously the back end of Arteta's first season. It was just pinging goals all the time. He was cutting in, and then boom,
trademark.
And then started off the season well. Lacazette started, and then he started messing up. Then he started dropping Lacazette and stuff. So, do you think then there's an opportunity then maybe then to give? It also depends on the fitness of Saka as well, because if Saka's fit, he needs to play on the right. I feel he was ineffective on the left. I'm not sure about you guys, but I just felt there's something missing from his game. He likes to come inside and affect play that way. Would we see Aubameyang on the left and Lacazette through the middle? I mean, would you like to see that? I don't think there's any other way that those two can be, well, especially the way that Arteta plays or would like to play.
The thing is, it's like what Gums has said in the beginning of the show. It's starting positions at the end of the day. Yeah. Like, you know, I think Smith Rowe is someone that can, from a central position, like to drift out to the left. Odegaard, from a central position, can be someone who likes to drift out on the right, both on their inverted kind of strong foot. Saka cuts inside, you know, from the left and actually drifts centrally. So there's all kinds of ways, which on either side, if Aubameyang's starting position is on the left, then what he's really doing is just cutting inside and making incisive runs between the fullback and the centre-back, or between the two centre-backs, with Lacazette pushing on a bit forward, or Lacazette dropping a bit deep and kind of occupying that space, bringing those centre-backs with him so that Aubameyang gets in behind them as well. Yeah. And I think I think that's the way it should work. I mean, a lot of people talk about, look, you know, like Firmino is a prime example. People just look at his metrics as he gets no goals, he gets no assists. No one looks at the fact that in the last 3 or 4 years, that no one looks at the goal scoring machines that Mane and Salah have been and have said, hang on a minute, maybe it's not such a coincidence that that's taken place when Firmino has been such a big part of their team.
Instrumental, you know,
it's more that movement off the ball that he is part of that is allowing those guys to occupy space.
But the difference, though, between, I think, Aubameyang and your Mane or Salah is that Aubameyang can't dribble like those two.
No.
And I think that's where the failure is with that kind of system. I mean, we've got Lacazette who can do Firmino's job very well.
What he can do very well that they can do is he can make those runs. Like he can make those runs into the box off the ball. That's basically all he did at Dortmund. For anyone that watched him at Dortmund, he did start on the left sometimes. Sometimes Royce started as the central striker and they would swap around. But Royce, if he did play as the striker, was almost a false 9, where he was dropping off, dropping 10, bringing centre-backs with him. And then Aubameyang was like, thank you very much, darting into the box behind him. You know, like that was literally Dortmund goal scoring 101 when he was there. You know, like sometimes Royce would play on the left and he would be up top, you know, like, and again, they would still alternate. Aubameyang would still drift into the channel, then come back inside. Like, but it was never really his dribbling. It was just his off the ball movement. And you've got to like just get that ball to his feet when you make that run. Like what I noticed yesterday, the most telling thing yesterday, like, is an age-old problem that I've always spoken about in the last season and a half with Aubameyang. Like, we don't trust him enough when he makes a run.
Yeah, our midfield. Why do we hesitate with that?
The run, our midfield isn't looking at him and thinking the first option is the best option. Hit him, just give it to him. Like we look at it and it's like, whoa, that guy might get it. Am I going to thread it right or whatever? And in that moment, that chance is gone. And the more Aubameyang does that, the more disheartened he gets, and then trying to make those runs because he's like, I'm not going to get a ball. So why am I going to make the run? You know, like. And I've seen this cycle play out. I've seen this pattern play out for the last year now.
One of the things, though, and I know this is probably going to be give it up and all that kind of stuff, is I'm sure Ozil would find him.
But the problem was we didn't find Ozil, so it's counterproductive. That was half the issue. We wasn't finding Ozil to find the others. So the big picture. But just touching on what Gunnar was saying about, again, starting position to starting position, players will naturally move and interlink and whatever else, and you work on those things. But I've got an image again, just because I'm using it for later show. Guys, don't make sure you tune in to the breakdown straight after this show.
Love the plug. That was seamless.
Nice little plug. But this image here, I'm not going to give too much away just because we're going to use it later. But look where Edouard and Benteke are. And Edouard started on the left wing.
Yeah.
So look where Benteke is. Look where Edouard is. So it doesn't matter. where Aubameyang starts or where Lacazette starts. But if you move naturally, Tyreek Mitchell played almost like a left winger at times.
Yeah.
But guaranteed one of the centre midfielders would have filled in like a left back to allow Edouard to come inside and Tyreek Mitchell to go on the outside. So with Tierney, we know Tierney's very comfortable playing high on the left, and Nuno Tavares can, if he's playing out there, can happily do that role, which would allow Aubameyang to come in. Lacazette might drop in, and if Xhaka is the one playing, you know he's not a left back, but he will sit in that pocket. And Lokonga, we've seen do it earlier in the season. So there's ways around it. Not everything's like
100%.
Pepe's going to play left wing different to Saka. He's going to play it different to Aubameyang. He's going to play it different to Smith Rowe. And actually, it's finding a way of getting those two in the team and building off that. Because, again, in that 5 minutes of them two playing together, I saw more passing movement, getting in behind than I've watched in the last 3 or 4 games from Arsenal.
Yeah.
Even though we've won games, we was more of a threat. So, I thought it was just interesting because what Gunnar King was saying about how he might start on the left, but I guarantee he ain't going to end up there. That could easily be Lacazette dropping into where Edouard is and picking up the ball deep, and Aubameyang's making the run behind. So it can move around.
It's the players at this level now, they have to be so sophisticated. Do you know what I mean? They need to be adaptable, interchangeable in their positions. You've only got to look at Man City. They ain't even got a striker. They're literally all their players. Foden will start as a false nine. He's not there. He's on the left. He's in the middle. He's on the right. All of them can play. Gundogan can play false nine. KDB can do it. I'm sure Grealish will be utilised there. Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm just giving that as an example that it's quite easy for Aubameyang and, do you know what I mean, Lacazette to work, but it might be a front two at times during the game when we're on the front foot, or he drifts out left. Do you see what I mean? We just have to, they need to have the intelligence, which I'm sure they have. It just needs to be coached.
Yeah. I guess for another show, is to Arteta the right man to do that? I guess. Don't know, but a question for you guys, though, what I want to ask is, why can't we then, if we want to play these two, why can't we play the traditional 4-4-2? Why can't we play that in today's game?
I think we could. It would be a difference in philosophy, which Arsenal have been for a long time, possession-based team. But I think we'd be scared of getting overrun in the midfield. But at the same time, sometimes you have to change things, and it's worked for lesser teams with lesser players like Burnley.
Yeah, Leicester. I was going to say that.
Leicester. Yeah, Leicester plays. Yeah, so teams are doing it, and I think we should give it a go, because one thing I do like about Smith Rowe and Saka is they will work. I don't think they're not saying Mane and Salah don't work. They press very well high, but they don't have to track back as much. So in a 4-4-2, I think you ask your wingers to be doing more tracking. Because obviously you've got two strikers.
I think they
will do it.
Yeah.
I do have that reservation in the centre of the park, though. Like,
but we play with it anyway. Really, if you think about it.
With our options at the moment, I think we're limited to do that.
And one thing I say with Laka and Abba is, if you ask one of them to sit on the DM and stop him playing, both of them we've seen will trap back to support. So you could almost, if Laka's the closest one to him, you go and do it and I'll stay high, and vice versa.
Lacazette did that
playing Sambi or Partey and Sambi, or Partey and El Neni or someone, like, because I really think I think to go with Partey and Odegaard in a 4-4-2, I think would be suicide. If I'm
we'd get overrun. We would. Unless what Gums is saying, like one of the strikers drops in with a DM and we become almost like a free. Yeah, we would get overrun. We would with the two. But it's like you say, it just goes back to the point of just, you fit the style of play and the need in the game, in-game management. If we're getting overrun, then Arteta's got to have that in his locker to be like, okay, switch to plan B or whatever it is. Do you see what I mean?
That's it. Danny Pereiro.
Yeah.
That's Lacazette kept whenever they had the ball or tried to play out, Lacazette would sit on him. That was against Valencia. Obviously didn't work well when because he is at Villarreal now, and he obviously didn't do the same thing then. But but against Valencia, he was non-existent. If I remember.
I think it could work though with Leicester at the moment. They're playing Iniesta and Vardy, aren't they? As a two. So different sort of players. I guess Vardy is the equivalent, similar to Aubameyang, on the shoulder, pacey, that sort of thing.
They've got great
And then-
wingers that can work. I mean,
Yeah. They have Pereira and Castagna on the wings. Do you see what I mean? We would have Tierney and Saka. I think that would work. So yeah, it could work.
I really want to. I'd just like to.
The thing is, as well, he wants to play with them too, as well. Sorry, just quickly, I read something when he was talking about when they was out with COVID. He was saying they was both starting in that game. That's what Arteta come out and quoted. Apparently, yeah. That's what he said. So, you know, that put his plans, you know, killed his plans, sort of thing. So maybe I don't know whether he's saying Aubameyang on the left or the two of them, because has Arteta ever played with the two of them as a team?
Not as a striker,
but not on a regular, has he?
No. I don't think he's ever played them as a pair up top.
No,
not the same way as Emery did.
No, I don't know. I know it hasn't been on a regular basis. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the FA Cup run we played with Abba on the left and Laka through the middle, but never as a two strikers, two focal points. Like
if we fitted as well, if we sort of got that system on lock, a 3-5-2, I think Martinelli would be good in a two up top.
He'll get more game time. Yeah,
I think my concern though, right, is I know it's early in Sambi's career, right, but it's looking like, and look, this goes back to another show we did with a certain Nigerian Englishman. For goodness sake, Sambi is not a 6. He's not. I don't want to hear no more talk about this guy.
Everyone gone to Sambi yesterday. I thought he was good yesterday.
What I'm trying to say here is him and Partey, they're both going to have that moment in their head where they want to get forward or they want to get involved in the play going forward with the passing or whatever. So I think that would actually be the question, the biggest question. How do we
find a Gilberto Silva
in the center and make this work for those guys? Because Laka can drop deeper and fill in. You don't want him doing that, because then when you're transitioning off the ball, you've got that problem again of where is he? He's not close enough to Aubameyang. Do you see what I mean?
He'd be coming off after 60 minutes every week again, knackered out of his shell.
Yeah, so it's about getting the right idea of person, and I think you need to go with more of a traditional ball winner. You would need to put El Neni in. It's as crazy as it sounds, and you would need to tell him, you sit. You don't move. You don't go past. I don't want to see you going into the opposition half. Treat him like Fred in Booth's video, tell him straight, you're not passing the halfway line.
Don't come past the halfway line.
Don't do it. I don't want to see you even look at that halfway line as if you can pass it, So that Partey can be that one guy who's got the license. And that allows Laka to stay in his position a lot more, where you're saying to him, I don't want to see you dropping more than 20 yards outside the box, even when we ain't got
We've got that player. We've got that player, but he's put him on loan. Torreira.
Well, that again,
I'm not buying into that Torreira. I don't think he's done anything really special for us, if I'm honest. Not what I was expecting.
Listen,
I think it's more of a system.
If you had to pick between Torreira and El Neni, who should we have kept?
Torreira,
the one who wants to be here, the one who wants to be here, though. He didn't want to be here. Like,
of course, he's not playing. He's not playing. That's why he don't want to be here.
No, I weren't really. Yeah, he was all right, but again, I think sometimes it's systems. We're talking like we didn't just get beat by Brighton, or not get beat, but absolutely battered by Brighton with Adam Lallana playing centre midfield, who was an attacking or a winger, and he's now transitioned into a central midfielder. Actually, if we start 5-10 yards higher, it eliminates a lot of the problems, but we're so deep. The gap between defense and striker is so big. Anybody could play through our lines. So it's, if you get that right, if my back four is confident and say, let's squeeze up, that eliminates a lot of the gaps. So Lacazette hasn't got to do a 30-yard sprint back to close a player. Again, if you watch some of the action shots yesterday, again, I watched the game again. We're so far off people. We don't press with intensity. Like, they scored 2 goals by pressing our central midfielder. There's hardly any times do I see them take a touch and one of us are on the touch. Like, Abba's pressing, but 2 passes, and then all of a sudden the man's got time and space on the ball. So as much as, yes, we could put Torreira in there, if he's being told screen, don't get close to the central midfield, it doesn't matter what he does. Like, the gaps are too big for him to close the space anyway. So it's, for me, that's a coaching thing where yes, with the right coach, it might work better. But again, you look at what Chelsea are doing. Kante's not the holder. Kante's not the holder no more. Jorginho is the one who sits.
No more.
It doesn't. To me, it doesn't matter who you put in that role. Jorginho holds because he's the better ball player. Kante, you're the busy one. You go like a madman and press around and win the ball back as high as you can. And now we win it in their half. We're playing their half, and that's what Emery tried to do with Torreira.
I was just about to say that.
You go win the ball higher, and we're now playing in their half. What's the point winning the ball back with Gabriel on our edge of our box again? Now we've got to transition up the whole pitch. Let's win the ball higher. So it's bigger than the personnel. I think we've got two ways of playing. Sometimes we press. A lot of the times when we ain't got possession, we sit in a shape and welcome teams on. And actually, it's stifling our football because when we do win it back, teams are saying, that's fine, we'll press you here because you're in your own half. You've got to get out. And then it's a long ball. Abba's in his own half defending. Centre-backs bring the ball down. And here comes another wave of attack again. So for me, it's, yes, personnel's got to be right, but actually we've got to have a bit more desire to stay up higher at the pitch and take a risk and say, actually, anything over the top, my keeper's going to come, or we're quick enough, or we're going to win the first headers. And we sustain pressure on the team. We have was a Tottenham game, where I could say for a half of football, we camped in their half and didn't let them out. And
comes out. You see, you watched it again. So obviously the first 15, 20. I felt like we pressed.
Yeah, we did, and they was keeping long. They were trying to play, and they kept going back to the keeper, and then he just had to keep hitting it because Abba was just chasing him down, and we cut off all his passing lines. And once we want 1-0 up, we just and I think I've got the tweet there. Let me
no, please.
Because Abba's, I don't know if you lot probably can't read it.
We tried to sit on that, man. We tried to
so I don't know if you can read it.
15 minutes,
Yeah,
I can read it. I can read it out.
Read out, if you can.
Oba, not enough for a home game. We stopped playing after the first goal, but we didn't give up and fought till the end. Big help from the guys that came in at Lacazette. Alex, well deserved, my bro. We go again. # come on, you Gunners.
Message.
And then Aladier.
Sorry, more. Sorry.
Aladier, right? Bo the Beard. That's my big boy. 3 points Friday. That's a bit okay. That was a bit.
Bo the Beard's a legend, by the way.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Big him up, yeah, man. Him and his grandma, man. They can be jokes, seriously.
Cool, but yeah. So as you said, Boots, there was kind of like a thinly veiled dig at the players that didn't really do it yesterday, because do you know what? He led by example.
He did
as a captain.
He did, but it's a bit of a cheat because he was quite non-existent in the Brighton game. Let's be real. So it's like, don't get me wrong. He always puts a shift. He did even more so in this game, but I don't like that. No. You're a captain, and there are a lot of kids in this team. Do you know what I mean? Why you should be going in and telling them? Because he clearly ain't said that to them. Because why would he say that to them in the dressing room as a captain and then go on socials and say that? It's pointless.
Yeah,
you see what I mean? So you can give Lacazette his flowers in other ways. Sorry,
at the same time, though, I will say this, right? Other than him, right, the only other player above the age of 24 that was on that pitch was Thomas Partey. Yeah, let's deep that, right? So when you've got a young squad, squad like this, and I've said it all along, right? I've been made happier by the signings that we've made because of their performances. But listen, I will always go back to what the hell Alan Hansen said when I was a child. You can't win anything with kids. You can't do that.
Beckham and them smashed it up, innit?
Look, I can't lead these children on my own. I can't be the only teacher in the classroom with this many children in. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear all the talk about classroom numbers being important to the quality of education, Well, the same thing applies to on a football pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Like that analogy.
You can't. I feel sorry for everyone, right? Because there's this massive gap in our squad. Yeah. Aubameyang, 32, 33. Lacazette, 30, 31. Thomas Partey, 28, 29. I don't know their exact ages, so I'm like, I know it's two numbers, yeah. After that, everyone's under the age of 24.
Apart from Pepe.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Oh, yeah, Pepe. Sorry, yeah, my bad. Pepe as well, yeah.
He's still not old in terms.
He's 26, ain't he? I think we said
Pepe's
yesterday.
not really a leader, is he? Do you know what I mean?
No, he's not. No.
And Aubameyang's never been a leader. He's
no way.
Aubameyang's captain.
He's a leader on the dance floor, bruv.
The only team he's captain, captained is his national team by virtue of being the star, stellar
the legend, the best ever player.
Gabon. That's the only thing that's made him the captain of Gabon. Yeah, like
that's what made him the captain of us, bro. He was just by default. He was the best player by clear. Like, for me, there was no other option to. Jacques is throwing the armband down. Like, who are you going to give it to? Like you say, there's no. You could have given it to Leno. That's about it. Really, who could you give it to?
Yeah, I agree.
100%. But Lacazette is more of a leader than Auba. We need Lacazette on the pitch at all times.
Do you know what I mean? Where he's saying, "Look, I need someone to kind of help me with this." You know, like I've got to be this talisman. I've got to be up front getting the goals. But then
I hear you.
Back and dropping deep and telling everyone where to be and what to do, and that's not even my strength in the first place.
I hear you. You know, like I just don't know if his socials is the route, but yeah, I do know what you're saying. He's got a valid point. Do you know what I mean? But whether that stems from like how they've recruited, do you know what I mean? Because it could have been just have a bit of. I would like the first thing I've said it from start. Get a centre mid. That would have been like the first thing I bought. And they, Lokonga's not that guy to start, is it? He shouldn't. That responsibility shouldn't be on his shoulders to come in from another league to be starting in the Premiership at his age, sort of thing. Should have bought like a Basuma, Neves, one of these guys who we've spoken about.
He's ready to run with it.
Ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah, ready to go.
The other thing I would say as well, you see, just with the back five, I think they all, like, we were so happy, innit? Like, Tomiyasu started well, Ramsdale started well, Ben White's looking comfy, and then, like, obviously Tierney's still, like, and Gabriel only is his first season. It's kind of like, it's asking a lot for them to gel, like how quickly. So it's kind of you've got to realise that it's not going to be all smooth sailing, is it?
No.
It's like three new players out of a back five. Anyone who's played football, if you've got three new guys in your back five,
that's big.
And then just to piggyback on that point, when that whole back five is under the age of 24, Tierney's the oldest in that back four.
Come on.
So you're gelling in three new players into a very young defense. And Gabriel, the other defender, one of the other two defenders, it's only his second season.
Yeah. And he was injured quite a bit.
For a lot of last season and had COVID. So he's still learning the language and the style of play in England. Like, it's...
Who would you say is the leader in that back four? Like Ramsdale showing it from keeper.
Yeah. I was going to say him.
Who out the back four, really? Tierney's a great character. We know he's probably a future captain, but I really would prefer a bit more vocal. Do you know what I mean?
On the centre backs, I think Ben White's a bit passive, I believe. I think also as well. Like, from what I think he was at fault for yesterday's goal as well, for the second goal. He should have.
We're gonna break that down, Catters. We'll
break that down.
I've got a very good slide on that.
Gabriel and Ramsdale doing all the talking.
Yeah,
like from what I saw yesterday, like I could see it. Like, they were the ones. Like Ramsdale was the one being vocal, sometimes passing on messages to Gabriel, and then Gabriel was like distributing that.
I like Ramsdale.
You see him sprint down the pitch for the thing as well, celebrating. Do you see that? The images.
I like him.
Can I throw this up, Canners, while you're talking?
Please,
Sorry,
please.
To know what Gunner King was saying about the age of the team. That popped up earlier on Wonder Kids, and we've got the 6th youngest squad in terms of starting this season on average. Yeah, on average. So again, there are games where Pablo Mauri's played.
The youngest by far in the Premier League, by the way.
Yeah. Brentford, was it Brentford the second?
They're the only ones in there.
So again, imagine if you take out Aubameyang, who is in his 30s,
that goes down to
everyone now is under 30. Do you know what I mean? Apart from Abba and Laka, and I think Xhaka's getting up to 29 or something like that, and Partey's around 28ish. So it is a really young team. But again, you do need leaders, and with regards to what Boods is saying, like it's some leaders have naturally got it, and I think more than Torreira, I think Guendouzi was a big leader who had character. I know you lot. He's been Marseille. How long has he been at Marseille for? What, 2-3 months?
Yeah,
and he's already captained them on a number of occasions.
Yeah.
So actually, sometimes it's not about. In England, we seem to have this seniority kind of thing, like whoever's been here the longest deserves to be captain. And I get it; it's a respect thing that you've been here the longest. But actually, sometimes you get a youngster who's naturally got character and charisma. And actually, as I said from the start, with those guys like that, he might be a nightmare in the dressing room at times if he hasn't got responsibility. So actually, give him more responsibility. It's like the workplace or in school. You got a kid who talks a lot and messes around. Actually, give him jobs to do and responsibility.
Gets on with it.
He will now behave, and he actually comes to you, what we do this, and actually he's a benefit. I always say, I remember when I first started doing youth work, if I had any issues, there's one Gunner will probably know him. There's one guy I'll go to first of all, and I'll talk to him first because I know if Puff didn't agree, it was a long day because everyone else is going to follow Puff. But if I get Puff on my side, everyone then falls into place. So he will be the first one I'll go and talk to. And once he was in place, it just trickled down. And I think Guendouzi's a character like that, where actually if you put him in position and give him responsibility, we're seeing it at Marseille now. They're having a great season, and he's been integral to that. Like, regardless of what he's done on the pitch, Pogba in France, he stands up. Do you know what I mean? And maybe if United gave him the armband and actually gave him responsibility and trusted him a bit more, he might lift.
Leader.
Yeah, whereas he's probably sitting there thinking, you've given Maguire that over me. Like Rashford holds
so badly happened behind the scenes with that, with Nguzi and Arteta. As in, it's a lot to write him off. Like he's, and we all know his quality, don't we?
Arteta seems to have backed down.
Yeah, he said he's not necessarily out the frame.
So it seems seems to have softened somewhat. So, I think he's probably realizing what he's doing over in France and thinking, "Oh, hang on,
you could do with that." Yeah.
And
don't get me wrong, I do.
No, he's seeing the whole of Arsenal Twitter going absolutely mad. All the freaking Guendouzi stands, week on week, like all the compilation videos that I've seen on football Twitter this week of his goal and the assists. And by the way, Payet ran that game. I don't want to hear no talk. Like Payet bossed that game.
Yeah, he's decent, but But as I said, for me, I do believe Arteta was right in what he done. He had too many issues to be worrying about Guendouzi as well. He had to do it. Like I'm Guendouzi's biggest fan from the first season. I said he's my captain. I've seen. Do you know what I mean? They'll never forget that game against Tottenham where he grabbed it by the scruff of the neck. And this is what Arsenal do. Apart from Lacazette, no one grabs it by the scruff, really and honestly. And but at the same time,
Odegaard and Lokonga can. They're obviously Norwegian captain, isn't he? And Lokonga was captain at Anderlecht. So we haven't really seen that sort of side of them yet. They're probably just bedding themselves in the team. Lokonga more so. Hopefully we start seeing that.
Yeah. Tierney's captain Scotland and Celtic.
So sometimes you just need to have that moment on the pitch where where the players get that kind of respect from everyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? It's really kind of like as a player, I don't know how much you guys have played, but when you've come in pre-season to a new club, everyone's trying to figure out what you can do, what you can't do, whether or not you're good enough, whether or not you're the right character, whatever. But then you play a couple of games and everybody says, talks amongst them and says, oh, you know what, such and such. And you're right, he's decent, he can play.
Yeah.
And then in the game, you do something like amazing, whatever, and then boom, that's it. No matter what, people start giving you the ball, letting you do things, not getting off onto your back about, making mistakes and things like that.
100%.
Because if you make those mistakes at the start of your career at a new club, it's only going to go one way for you, man, because it's like people will stop passing you the ball. You will, as a player, will start hiding as well, from actually receiving the ball. So it's a shame what happened to Lokonga yesterday but he held his hands up, and I think in a captain-like way, he actually come out and said, you know what, I know I made a mistake, but I'll make amends. And respect for that, really. And
I think he had a good game yesterday. People get onto him.
He was decent.
But he keeps the ball ticking really well. He demands it. Like it's like Gunnar saying, we need someone who wants to get on the ball and actually trust me in them positions. And he's one who, in 45 minutes, he showed me that he popped up everywhere. He had I haven't done the research, but it'd be interesting to see how many touches he had of the ball in 45 minutes because I bet he had more than some people who played 60. Like, I know it's different positions, but he demands the ball.
Targeted him though, Palace. Like, I noticed it
from you make sure you watch my show later because they didn't just target him. You make sure you watch my show later. And
the thing is,
I've got a couple of kids. He didn't get targeted, but again, there's ways where sometimes one extra player can make such a difference, and I will show it in the next slide. It's coming in about 10 minutes, Cameron.
It's coming. Just before we do clock off here, I just want to show you guys, just going back to Aubameyang and Lacazette, trying to shoehorn them into some kind of formation. Have a look at this. Stats during the second half of the 2018-19 season when we were playing either a 3-4-1-2 or 4-3-1-2 formation. Game started 11, combined goals 16, combined 6-6, win ratio of 72. Well, we might as well call that 73%. We beat Chelsea, Man U, Napoli, Valencia, Rennes. Listen, some decent results in there against decent teams.
I like the idea of that 4-3-1-2 as well because, like, look, we haven't got Xhaka at the moment.
Yeah,
and I feel like there's been a massive difference in the way that we've looked without him. As much as it pains me to say it, because he's not a player I'm fond of. But the reality is, you look at the contrast of the Tottenham game to the Brighton game to yesterday's game.
There must be a player in Xhaka better than him out there. There must be.
Arsenal at the moment, if you look at the options, he has to be in there, isn't it?
Yeah, just bring all your width from your fullbacks. We got good fullbacks, your Tierney and your Tomiyasu, and just go with an extra central midfielder. Yeah, just play Partey at the base of play Partey and Sambi. And then Odegaard and Smith Rowe just in front of them.
Saka.
I don't know, or Saka, but like one of them. Like,
one thing I will say, this Xhaka stuff, he wasn't playing the 2 games we won before. Don't say we played well, but was that playing well against Tottenham a case of Granit Xhaka being in the team, or we're playing Tottenham? Because he played for the 90 and we only played good for 45. So I'm not discounting him, but actually the games before when he was suspended, we went on and won.
When you say,
and the games before when he was playing, we was getting slapped up. So
we took our foot off the gas in the second 45.
Yeah, but Xhaka was playing at the start of the season, and we were getting slapped.
Yeah. I don't think he's pivotal. Like, he's not pivotal.
It's
to us.
very easy. Anyone who played in that 45 against Tottenham, we're going to say was brilliant.
Difference. Our midfield in the centre, I feel.
I don't think there is enough. The options, isn't it?
But have we? Sorry, just quickly. Sorry, I don't think we played any different from last season. We haven't played good football for about 3 years. So we're pulling on 145 minutes against Tottenham to say Xhaka is the answer, and actually he's been in this team for years, and we haven't played good football since Cazorla's left.
Maybe it's a case of his experience. Like,
we still haven't played good football with him being experienced. We haven't played good football for years.
In the second half, we just kind of just went, well, we've won the game. So all we got to do is keep our shape. And their goal actually came from Xhaka being injured in a passage of play and not being involved in that transition. The one thing he does well, I would say, like, I'm not saying that's the only thing, but the main thing is, like, he's the midfielder that just keeps the ball ticking. The ball just out of a Partey and him, definitely. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he begins to know his limitations. He can play.
The most versatile out of passing, like variety of passing out of all the midfield. I think it's just more down to we just got no options in there, innit? So it burns me to say, but I don't think he's that pivotal. I'm kind of with Gums on that. In that.
As I said, there must be a better version of Xhaka out there in the world.
In the world, I just mean at Arsenal currently, what we have, innit? Like what we have at the moment, they haven't really strengthened.
Best of a bad bunch, right?
I think we do.
Best of a bad bunch. So going back to this stat, so as I said, we got to shoehorn these two in, and I know he's just put in the chat. You know what, Tony? I didn't forget you, son. Thank you very much with the Stato, Tony Silva. Thank you very much. I know hard work's gone into all of this, but these two guys, we need to get them in. We need to get them on the pitch. I'd love to go back to a 4-4-2 and have it and see it work. You know, to play with like a great pair of wingers. You know, have two guys occupying, you know, the team's centre backs and stuff, and having two solid central midfielders. I mean, listen, man, if we can find a Petit or Vieira kind of combination again, then we're sorted, right?
Not asking much, mate.
Or even I don't know what, David Batty, Rob Lee. Come on, man.
Mate,
You know what I mean?
hopefully Edu had a word with Vieira on his way out yesterday.
Can you imagine? Let's say. Just a quick question for you and all that. Who do you think? I did see somewhere on another channel that, you know, that after 2 months they can see Vieira's, you know, footprint and style on the team. Are you in that same kind of thinking that you undecided on what Arteta's style and stamp is on the team, and is he really the guy to take us forward? And is Vieira auditioning right now and doing no wrong and strengthening his case to be a future Arsenal manager? Can
I just take this?
Go ahead.
I find like this phrase is being bandied around a lot, like not just even about us, like United, like the no style of play one. I can tell you right now what it is. You're playing out for the back. Yeah, you are probing from side to side, waiting for gaps to appear in the final third in the hope that you can slip someone in. Is it the right style of play? That might be a question. But I think it's lazy to say that there is none, because there is one. And like you could see it yesterday on the side. Like,
can I just say, you said a key phrase there. You said a key word.
Hang on,
there was a key word you put in there.
Sorry, wait. Whilst we were going sideways, we were going forward incrementally. That is his style. Like incrementally, we are edging forward whilst it is going sideways. It's not like it's just going sideways and then it's staying in a straight line. It's like edging forward, edging forward, edging forward. Is it one that I agree with? Is it one that I think we need to sort of break rank from a bit? Absolutely. But to say that there is none there, like it's just it's cash. Like
there was one word. I understand what you're saying, but there was one word what you said there, and you said hope. Now, if you've got a style of play and you've got a pattern of play and you've got a way that you want to play, there's no hope. You will say to yourself, a time will come when this will happen. Or you get, you know, you might, Pepe might, or whoever might draw two players to him, then boom, you can then switch it quick or whatever it is to have an overload on another side. Now, the thing is, we are too hopeful as to see right now, I believe, as to what's going to happen. I think what we need to do as a team, and we're starting with those two players, is get the percentages on our side in the terms of occupying the back, you know, their centre backs, turning them, getting, you know, being on the front foot. I just think right now we don't. I unless we're pressing the team, I can't see really how the game's going to go, because I just don't see us switching it on and switching it, being switched off and then boom, switching it on. We're not that team. We haven't got no one in our team who can just do something magically and light up the, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing something wrong, but I just think that we need more presence up top, and to do things in the final third, rather than not, but play on percentages.
We saw it yesterday, didn't we? Immediately, like comes a stroke in the 6 minutes.
Percentages. Since you win the ball high up, and you get the ball
things
high
are happening.
up.
So that for me, it's always like in-game management. He needs to be better at that.
Yeah,
like we're fans. Do you know what I mean? We observe the game, we analyze it. This guy is paid to do it for a living. Like he's sitting there. He should be calling that a lot earlier for me.
Yeah. No, listen. I know what you're saying. It's been banded around about we ain't got no style and this and that. Obviously, he does have a style, and he does have a notion of way that, you know, he wants to play. Whether or not he's getting that across, I think the issue now is that he's got his players pretty much in now. Players.
Yeah. No excuses now.
Yeah, you can't have any excuse now.
So we should.
The whole back five is his. They're all his signings.
Yeah.
Odegaard,
Whoever's there now,
Partey.
he wants there. That's my understanding and what I feel. But guys, I think we've drawn this to a close. I want to thank you all and thank you all for watching. We'll be back some sooner rather than other.
Yeah, see you in 3 minutes, kind of.
So yeah, it's gonna be. But listen, we've got obviously the preview interaction coming for the Villa game. On Friday. So listen, King, you're going to that game, aren't you? Is that true?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
I'm indeed.
He is. Okay, yeah. Might be good.
I'm going to the game.
Yeah, because I might be around. I might have to link up with you afterwards, actually. So, because I'm going to be around Canary Wharf area. So, but anyway, we'll talk offline. Boots, Gumza, King.
Yeah.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much. Till the next time. Peace.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Big man teams.